welcome to this week's episode of Overcoming the Wednesday Hump. For those of you who are new to these videos, they're designed to do just that, to help you to overcome that midweek Wednesday feeling. When you're halfway through the week and your motivation levels are starting to dip and you're asking yourself, how am I going to get through this week? These videos are designed to lift you back up and to give you that motivation and that drive to keep moving forward in the direction towards your goals and your dreams for the future. Now in this week's video, I want to talk about the topic of authenticity. Authenticity is such an important topic. In simple terms, authenticity is all about you being true to the values and the principles that you hold dear to. It's being true to the core beliefs that you have. To give you a practical example of this, if you are in a leadership position, and one of the core values that is important to you is equality of opportunity and, not being discriminatory against different people. If you're asked to do something or to organize something or to put an event on that is going to discriminate against a certain group of people or is not going to be favorable towards them, you acting in alignment with your core values would be to say no to that because it doesn't line up with the things that are important to you. And that would be you walking in authenticity, by you staying true to the principles and the values that are important to you, by not going forward with a decision that would be incongruent to those values and the principles that you hold dear to. A more simplified example could be if you're a woman who doesn't like to wear makeup, but you're working in an organization where they expect you to portray a certain image which involves wearing makeup. Imagine it's wearing red lipstick, for example. In order for you to be authentic, you would have to say, no, I don't want to wear red lipstick because I'm somebody who just doesn't like to wear makeup. I know that that's a bit of an extreme example because although I guess some people could say in some organizations they do have an expectation of ladies perhaps wearing makeup, for the most part, most people wouldn't tell you to wear red lipstick. But it's just to help make this point clear. Being authentic is about holding tightly to what is right for you, what is true for you, what are the principles and the values that you believe in and you hold dear, okay? Now, authenticity is important because when we are walking out of alignment with our authentic selves, when we are doing things that don't marry up with the principles and the deep-seated values that we have, we become restless, we become unhappy because there's a constant resistance. We're going to work or we're going about our day-to-day activities, but we know that we are kind of trying to fit into a mold or we're trying to do something that just doesn't feel right. And inevitably, we will all be faced with these challenges along our journey of life, where we are challenged to do something or to act in a certain way or be in a certain way that doesn't quite line up with our values. And this is a challenge because usually, in order for you to stand true to your authentic self, you are going to upset some people because there is no way that we can please all people. And some people not like the fact that you do things a certain way or you're very passionate about, doing things one particular way and holding true to certain things. And so you have to be, I guess, to some degree, you have to have a level of peace with this. And this can be very difficult if you're the type of personality where you like to please people. And I don't say this to undermine anybody. In fact, my personality type is one where I like to please people. However, along my journey of development, I've had to develop that resilience. I've had to develop that tough layer of skin by coming to the realization that there is no way I'm going to be able to please everybody. There's absolutely no way you can please everybody. Humans are very fickle. One day they'll like you, the next day they won't. One day they'll agree with you, the next day they won't. And sometimes it's got absolutely nothing to do with you. It's actually them. Sometimes people can have different emotions which make them start to view things in a different way, and then they can change their opinion about something in the space of hours. And that is not your responsibility. That is not something that you need to be concerned about. You need to be concerned about holding true to your values and your beliefs, because I promise you, the hurt that you may feel by being rejected by somebody because they don't agree with what you're doing is nothing compared to the hurt that you'll feel if you're trying to live a life that is not in alignment with your authentic self. Because it's like there's an internal wrestle, there's an internal battle that is going on. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do I come to the understanding of what my true authentic self is? And this is a great question, and I really encourage you to explore it. And I start by saying, ask yourself, what are my core values? What are the things that I believe in deeply? What are the matters that are close to my heart? What are my principles? So to give you a few examples, some of the things that are important to me is integrity. I really try to lead a life based on honesty. I think it's very difficult to live a life that is not based on honesty, because then you have to remember the lies that you've told. Or even if it's not specifically related to lies, but pretending that you like something or trying to portray a certain image that doesn't match you, this is still a form of dishonesty. And I find that very difficult, partly because it just makes me also feel really uncomfortable, because I just feel like I'm just not being me. So integrity is really important. Some of my core values as well include, discipline. Discipline is important to me. Showing up on time. These are all things that matter to me. These are all values that I hold closely and dear to me. In addition to that, authenticity is also about just being your natural self. So like my personality type is I'm a very energetic, slightly extroverted person. That's not necessarily a principle or a core value. That is just who I am. And it's important that I am able to express that. Because if I'm in environments where I feel like I can't be my authentic self, I feel like I'm almost suffocating because I'm trying to restrict who I am. I'm not allowing myself to shine. I'm not letting my light shine. To give you actually an example of this, a few years ago, while I was at medical school, I set up a medical mastermind group as a part of a charity that I was working with at the time. For those of you who don't know, a medical mastermind group is just a group of people. So just to clarify, mastermind groups can happen in any organization or specialty, but the medical one was obviously linked to medics. And a mastermind group is when a group of people, they get together, they exchange ideas, they can hold each other accountable, they track each other's progress, and it's almost like peer-to-peer mentoring type thing. And it's all just about your progression and evolution, but specifically this was linked to the medical field. And at the launch of the medical mastermind group, I managed to get a really notable speaker, Sir Lord Kenneth, OBE, Lord Lieutenant to the Queen. I also got another notable speaker who was a plastic surgeon, a female plastic surgeon who was blazing the trail in her field. And there were some of the other members of the group were present. And, I was really nervous because I needed to do an opening speech where I'm introducing everybody and I'm, launching this whole group and explaining what it is about. And I had written my speech on paper. First and foremost, I hate doing speeches with paper. I just hate it. Anyway, I was holding paper at this event. And in addition to that, because, we were in the Worshipful Society of Apothecaries, which is like a really grand English type traditional environment. And, I was around all of these notable people, and I was trying to come across as very professional, very serious. And that just isn't me. Don't get me wrong, I am professional, but at the same time, I like to be authentic. I like to let my personality shine through, and it's absolutely possible to be professional and to be your authentic self and to be your character, to be bubbly, to be energetic. You can do that. The two can coexist, okay? But I was very nervous and I wasn't really allowing my personality to shine through. It was very scripted, and I was just trying to kind of be very professional and, conduct myself in a certain way. And afterwards I was talking to somebody, one of the guests, and I told him how I was feeling after I had done my introduction, and he said, just be you. Just be you. His words were so simple, but they were really I was going to say they were life-changing. That sounds a bit dramatic, but in some senses it was life-altering, because following that I decided that, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be who I am, Part of me being authentic is being my bubbly self, wearing my flower in my hair. I usually only put this flower in when I wear my hair down, and as many of you know, I'm a doctor, and at work we can't have our hair down, so I haven't been wearing my flower, which has been making me feel like I'm not being me. And different people have different opinions. Wearing a flower in my hair can make me look really young. Some people could perceive it as childish or all sorts of things, but that doesn't matter, because this is me being my authentic self and expressing myself the way I want to. So in summary, the point that I'm trying to make through this video is that it's really important that you choose to live a life of authenticity, because that gives you peace, that gives you freedom when you're flowing and moving in direction which lines up with your core values, your beliefs, and you're just being yourself. It's so liberating to just be yourself. In order to have an understanding about what this looks like practically, I encourage you to ask yourself, what are my core values? What is important to me? What is my personality like? What is my character like? And to hold dear to that. And when you've got a clear understanding of your core values, it helps you to have a better understanding of what to say yes or no to, and even how to lead your life. And it justifies you choosing to be authentic in situations that challenge you to do otherwise, because you remember your core values and you can clearly say, this does not line up with my core values, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. So I really hope this video encouraged you. If you like what you've listened to, please do like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. See you next time.